I request our chief guest, Mr. T S Krishnamurthy sir, to speak on this after, because he has launched it. I request Mr. T S Krishnamurthy.
A very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, let me convey my hearty Independence Day greetings. 75th year is a very important landmark in the history of this country. We should all be proud of our achievement in continuing a democratic system without any interruption. As you know, all our neighbors around our country, they've never had an uninterrupted democracy after their independence. They've had always, it has been intervened by non-democratic systems of government. And we are the only country which has been able to follow a democratic system ever since we got independence in 1947. And our parliament has been functioning. I have had the privilege of watching the parliament proceedings from the official gallery for a number of years because I spent about 20 years in Delhi. And I have seen veterans, great men like Somnath Chatterjee, Mr. Hiren Mukherjee, Mr. Chagla, and a few others. They have made excellent contribution to the speeches in the parliament. And I'm sure that even now there are many parliamentarians who have made a contribution to the working of the parliamentary democracy in this country. Rightly or wrongly, we followed the British parliamentary system, the Westminster style. And somehow or other, as Mr. Premachandran mentioned, as many political analysts have mentioned, we seem to be going somewhere wrong. There is need for rethinking. Justice Venkatachalya committee was appointed to review the working of the constitution. The recommendations were given. Unfortunately, no importance has been given to that. It seems to be sleeping in the almirahs of the government. And the Law Commission has given so many recommendations. Many parliamentarians have suggested changes in the system. I think after 75 years, there is absolutely need for many changes to be brought about. I have, in a small letter to the Prime Minister in 2004, I had recommended certain electoral reforms as part of the exercise to improve the quality of Indian democracy. I would only request, because we have veterans like Mr. Premachandran and Mr. Veerappa Moily who have done yeoman service to the parliamentary democracy in this country. They must take some initiative. All the parties should come together in the interest of the nation, in the interest of the future of this nation, to bring about certain urgent changes. Because as you know, if we do not take immediate steps to consolidate the gains of our democracy, we run a danger of being, attacked by the non-democratic forces. Now you just see what has happened in Afghanistan today. It's very pathetic to see a country elected as almost disappearing. It's very unfortunate that the democratic systems are facing tremendous challenges all over the world. And we as Indians, with the rich contribution, with the unique written constitution that we have, with the kind of veterans we have had in the parliament, we should take the initiative, not only at our level for improving the quality of Indian democracy, but also to improve the quality of democracy in other countries. We are supposed to be the president of this UN Security Council. In fact, I have suggested long ago a unique international standard for democracy, some of the essential things. And we have also, as part of certain international organizations, we have recommended certain changes for having a reasonably good electoral justice in the world. So I would suggest that on this occasion of the eve of the Independence Day, the parliamentarians in India, the political analysts in India, the students of parliamentary democracy should take some initiative. Mr. Srinivasan was mentioning about some kind of a seminar. I agree, but these seminars have to be very carefully crafted, because there is no point in just meeting and saying something and going away. Some concrete course of action has to be devised. And I do hope that some constructive brains will bring forward a suitable step to see that the quality of Indian democracy improves further, so that the future generations of this country will ever be grateful to the parliamentarians of today the parliamentarians of yesterday and the parliamentarians of the future. I'm sure Mr. Srinivasan is already conducting a training program for young leaders, political leaders. There's absolutely need for good quality political leadership. And I have no doubts that a lot of youngsters are taking active interest. And I do hope in the years to come, we will have more reforms, more changes, more constructive contribution to improving the quality of Indian democracy.
Any other
Yeah,
points
in
that you
fact,
would like to share?
I would also like to add you have just released 2 ebooks of the speeches in the Parliament and the Parliamentary Committee.
Yes, sir.
You know, these committees and the parliamentary speeches, they're all requiring some kind of a research. Unfortunately, although the Parliamentary Library is one of the finest institutions we have in our country, very little research is being done of the speeches of parliamentarians. And though there are some certain institutions committed to this purpose, I have not seen much of activity as far as the publication of the results of the research into the various speeches and various suggestions made by parliamentarians. In most of the Western democracies, the speeches of the parliamentarians are researched, and then certain kind of recommendations are made on the basis, or comments are made on the basis of the speeches made by the parliamentarians. At the moment, unfortunately, the time given for parliamentary speeches in our parliament seems to be gradually getting reduced. It's very unfortunate development. In fact, I have mentioned it in some of my articles and also in my book, how the quality of speeches is getting reduced, and also the time spent for constructive speeches is getting reduced, and time for discussions is getting reduced. So it is absolutely necessary that not only we publish these reports, but also some analytical studies have to be done independently, not by any governmental organization. So I would suggest even Prime Point Foundation probably can consider whether some kind of, in the last 5 years, speeches made by parliamentarians, are there any valuable contribution to improve the quality of democracy? I've already talked about the importance of electoral reforms, which I think is most urgently called for, because the present system has resulted in kind of a lopsided democracy. That is my personal view. And I've always kept myself away from the day-to-day politics of this country. But I'm really concerned about the need for these urgent reforms, because that alone will improve not only the quality of representations in the parliament, but also in other state legislatures. In addition to that, that alone will have some hope for continuing a lively, vibrant democracy. Because sometimes you feel disillusioned when you don't find much of a discussion, much of a, I'm not going into the politics aspect of it, of who is at fault. I won't go into it because I've kept a safe distance from all politicians. But I would certainly say, as a common man, as an octogenarian, because I've just crossed 80, I feel concerned about the need for improving urgently the quality of democracy by taking quick steps, so that the people do not lose faith in politicians, they do not lose faith in democracy. So my hearty greetings again, my best wishes to the Prime Point Foundation, who have been doing an excellent job with the limited resources. And I do hope that it will grow in its activities in the years to come. My best wishes to all.
Thank you, Mr. TSK, sir. Really a wonderful, short and sweet speech.